Hi guys. So I'm just going to catch you up really fast on the whole weight loss progress, and we're going to get right into the video. And I will start out by explaining to you why I'm even qualified to tell you where the good men are. Okay? But prior to that, and this is take two because I'm this dumb thing that I'm wearing. I think I have to adjust it more. I can't, be on camera showing everything, even though, you want to see the before, and we're definitely in the before stage. Today is day 3 of the diet, so I think I just got rid of the rest of the water weight. I am at 136.6 today, so I'm down zero point 0.4 of a pound from yesterday. Okay, I did start my detox pills today because I think we're done with the water weight thing, and I've already taken my probiotic. So let me see if I want to adjust too, because the lighting keeps going in and out. So let's see if this is better right here. If I just kind of try to sit tight right here. Oh no, okay. Last video, I am so bummed that I was showing off too much because we pulled the Ace of Cups. Okay, so when we're gonna do our card at the end, because I wanted it to pertain to what we're talking about, which is finding love. Um, we'll pull another card, but we do have that energy of the Ace of Cups with us. Okay, stay there, Ace of Cups. All right, and we'll talk about the Ace of Cups when we get to the tarot portion. Okay, so the reason I'm qualified to speak on this, I did this same research 7 years ago when I was 45, and I actually moved in order to find a man, and it worked. So I have done this, and so I had to ask myself, well, what would I do today if I'm 52 years old now? It's 7 years into the future, because 2018 is a little different than 2025. However, there was 2 cities that I came up with. I went to one, and ironically, the other one is still on the list. So we'll talk about that. That must be consistently a good place, okay? Um, but anyways, so I'm qualified because I've done this successfully. I also dated a lot of men. And I just want to also make a note. It probably seems from these videos that I'm super outgoing because I'll talk to people, and I do, and I have. I've talked to a man in a specific city just for this video, so I can, do that interview and make sure that everything is correct, from what I can see. And no, you can't tell who a person is just like that right off the bat, but I do the best I can. Okay, so you're gonna have a lot of cities to choose from. Okay, so anyways, and I will list them in the description so that you can just look at that and not have to hear me going from here to there. I have my notes to try to keep me focused. I went out with a lot of different men, and a lot of them were good men. And your type might vary from my type. Maybe you would have chosen bachelor number 4 and I took number 8 instead. This sort of thing. So there's plenty of good men in these places that I'm about to get into. I will also say, no, I'm not smoking crack. When I came up with this list, I'm like, oh my God. That's particularly with the whole Pacific Northwest Portland thing. Is it what? Now, no offense or anything. They're cleaning it up. It turns out they're starting to bring back law and order. I'm politically conservative, and so liberal places, wasn't going to be something that would work for me. Um, if I had to do Colorado today, it would be Fort Collins. It would not be Portland. I'm getting my. I like, look at this ditz. Okay, seriously though. Back in the day when I did my thing 7 years ago, Denver was the city I did not choose, and Denver is still on the list. I had this idea, like everyone else, that all they do is smoke weed in Colorado, because it was, I think, one of the only states in 2018 where it was already legalized, though I think a lot of them were coming in with that legalization. I think California might have been right behind them, and I do have cities in California that have made the list. Um, so, um, yes, if I had to choose Colorado today, I still wouldn't go to Denver. I would do Fort Collins, okay? So having said that, we're going to start with Portland. Let me tell you about Portland. I will also say what's funny is I had some friends move to Portland, so I actually do know a good man there. He will be 45 in November, and we dated briefly. Obviously, I wasn't going to do long distance with a guy in Portland, and he's still there, still single. So I would, even though I personally like older men, um, it's never worked out that way for me. Everyone I have seriously been with since my divorce from my first husband has been younger. So try to be open, okay? In fact, I was rejected by some older men, and I think a lot of that had to do with they were just not wanting to date because I know the guy liked me. Okay, and that's not just me going, oh yes, everybody likes me. I know he did. But anyways, having said that, we're going to start with Portland. Okay, so I'm not smoking crack. Portland apparently is becoming more of a place where they're bringing back law and order. Now, understandably, when you're in your 50s like me, you don't have patience to wait for all that. So I've got other cities for you that maybe they've already got more law and order than Portland, okay? And besides Portland, well, I'll go to California since I've mentioned that already. We're talking about San Francisco and San Jose, okay? Now, that was a shocker for me. That was a shocker for me because I've been watching too much YouTube. That might sound like a contradiction, but the reason I started this channel is I want to talk about what I see. I don't want to hear what all the influencers and, oh my God, it's so terrible. People are pooping in the street, San Francisco. I haven't been there for years. But what I did do is speak to men from there, okay? The type that ladies typically like, the firemen. And there's some good single firemen there, as well as former military, police, paramedic, if that's your sort of thing. Okay, so San Francisco, all right? Seattle. Now, Seattle I thought was a bit strange too, but I will also say that my first husband, rest in peace, good man, he, I was told by a psychic when I was 19 that I would meet a man from Seattle whose last name started with a T and I would marry him. And he was actually the third person, and I was very young when I got married. He was the third person, the first time, who, how do you say, was from Seattle, and his last name started with a T. Now, technically, he was not from Seattle. He's from Wisconsin, but he lived in Seattle right before he got here, okay? And so, you know, and when I saw him, I knew I'd marry him. His impression of me absolutely was not that he would marry me. But he was wrong, you know? So, and I never had a conversation with him where he said he didn't want a relationship or any of those things that you really need to listen to when the man says, okay? So I'm just throw that out there. I had given you some advice hidden in another video about what is the secret to men that nobody tells you, and I'll repeat it here, which is you gotta love them. But I'm gonna go into a little more detail later on, okay? And yeah, I think I was also, that's why I have my list, because I go off on tangents. I'm not this outgoing person that I appear to be on video. I'm very reserved. The man has to come to you. I had a relationship as well, relationship number 2 from my chosen location, and I waited a year and a half for that man to come to me, okay? So I'm not the way it appears here. Now, I'm here, I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to a camera, I've got my pets, I'm comfortable, I'm in my room, my office, you know? So anyways, just so you know, and better for you if you are outgoing, but I really am not in real life. Now, let's see, okay, so Denver and Fort Collins, if you want to do Seattle, gosh, if you want to do Colorado rather than the Seattle, Oregon, California, Pacific Northwest-ish area. Okay, that's what I have for general areas. Now, if you don't like any of those, we're going to get more specific and we're going to go to some other parts of the country. Okay, and again, these will be in the comments. You don't need to listen to me. You can just look at the list and, you know, save some time if you want. But if you are seeing me, I mean, no one sees these videos. That this channel is so new. Maybe you'll see this a year from now. I would imagine a year from now things haven't changed much. This is probably not valid in 2027, but it could be. Look at Denver. It's just like constantly on that list. Maybe you should go to Denver. You know, everyone's different. So, as far as drilling down more specific, different areas now, Austin, Texas. Okay, Austin, Texas. A lot of musicians. My experience with musicians, and there's been a lot of experience. They are not dating. In fact, the musician I dated was absolutely horrible, and probably will do a video on that because, well, we'll get into it when I do the video. So Austin, Texas. Anyone else that was a musician, and I know quite a few of them, really good people. They don't deserve that reputation. It was the one that I happened to choose that really brings the bad reputation upon all of them. All right, so I don't always choose well, but half the time I do. So, and I'm very lucky. So there's that. So, okay, now as a side note, in Texas, spent quite a bit of time in Texas. You know, over the last couple years, I haven't gone this year in 25, but what was weird is I met a lot of good men the brief time I was in Houston. Now, I think that may be geared more towards the older people because I'm sure women of all ages are watching this. And, you know, 52, if you're 52 or you're even up to 60, these were older men that I was meeting in Houston and good men. Go figure, that just randomly came to me, okay, in 23 and 24, which I think would still be relevant to today. But from my research, I've got Austin, I don't have Houston. Your mileage may vary, like I say. I further have Asheville, North Carolina, if you want to go over there to that side of the country. Beautiful, beautiful state, North Carolina. I really like it. Got a lot of clients from North Carolina. I would, of course, say I believe that's kind of where that flood hit about a year ago. But, you know, God puts natural disasters where he puts them. And I know there's some conspiracies and some theories about what really happened over there. Not that I discount any of that. But things are going to happen all over. So I wouldn't rule out Asheville if that would seem to work for you. You know, compared to, like I said, more of these Seattles and San Franciscos. Okay. Madison, Wisconsin. If you're a Midwest type person, Madison, Wisconsin. I also have Minneapolis, Minnesota on the list. Personally, I would go to Wisconsin. Okay, just from my personal experience with people from both states. Wisconsin, Minnesota as well, though I have to say, people from that part of the country are so good looking to me, you know, and they're good people. I really like people from Wisconsin. My first husband was originally from Wisconsin, big Packer fan, huge. You know, we got engaged on Brett Favre's birthday. I mean, you know, ancient history now, but you know, good man. Let's see. So, and also making the list, another shocking city that doesn't have a good reputation crime-wise, but it's big enough. St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, so good. You know, from a numerology perspective, St. Louis, Missouri. Now that's not how I'm choosing that city. I'm just throwing that out there that there's all kinds of areas in St. Louis, and people, it's a normal city like any other city where there's crime, but there's also high-paying jobs that could absolutely be a good place for your career, which you need to consider, of course. You can't just go running around the country because you want to meet a man. You know, and so if you find this video and you decide that maybe this lady's onto something, you know, pick one of these cities that you can transfer your job to or whatever and get it going, okay? So that's what I have for cities. We'll get to the tarot portion of things, but before I do, I just want to say that, you know, you do have to love men if you're hoping to attract one and, you know, and keep him and be happy together, you know? Now, God, the other video, it flowed so much better, but that's okay. This is take two. And we'll see what we get for tarot. That'll be interesting, so at least we get a second card now to go along with our Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is the beginning of love. It was the perfect card that, you know, but that's okay. And so, let's see. So you have to love men. Part of loving men, part of loving anyone is listening to them and trying to understand them. So I know a lot of us like to pick a specific man and try to manifest him. If you're picking a man who believes in manifestations like you do, and it's very, very valid, you know, I'll probably have to make a video telling my manifestation stories, which cover both career and love and weight loss, in fact. You know, if you have to manifest him because he's telling you things like, I don't want a relationship, or, you know, anything that is deeply discouraging, you have to listen to him. He's probably trying to manifest someone else, is the honest to God truth. Okay, if he says that to you, I don't want a relationship, he's trying to manifest someone else, most likely. I mean, I'm not selling anything here, but, and you have no way to get in touch with me, but make a comment if you want to hear more about that. I can make a video, or I can reach out to you personally. And that's just a general statement. It may not apply to you, okay? But having said that, you have to listen and understand, and you have to believe. Here's the second part of, you just have to love them. That's it. That's the advice no one gives you. True. But you have to believe they love you too, but not in a delusional way, where if they say they don't want a relationship, they're not a relationship guy. You have to believe that and get away from them. They'll come get you if they, you know, reconsider and go, oh, geez, I didn't want that result. I thought she'd stick around when I said I didn't want a relationship. You have to say bye. You have to. But anyways, in your time, when you're ready, so that you don't go back. But anyways, let's do another card and just check the energy for me and my list of cities. And you know, it's so funny. Also, men too. The MGTOW community. I'm talking to you now because I know you're going to pick this video up at some point and go, oh my God, look at this crazy woman. She hit the wall. You know, and you can't, man, if you seriously want to attract a woman, it's the same thing. You have to love women, and you cannot be this sort of involved with this sort of thinking. You know, I think I hit the wall. I don't care. But I just mean, you know, hateful towards women. Okay? You gotta love what you're trying to be with. All right, so one more card, and then I gotta go because I gotta get back to work. Here we go. For the love, along with the Ace of Cups, for my ladies that will consider moving in 2026 to find the love they want. This is a good one. Doesn't look so good, but it's good. You got your 10 of Swords. I don't know where my ace went, but that's okay. So we have our 10 of Swords reversed. Let me tell you why this is good. This is the Betrayal card, but you see how it's upside down? These swords will fall out of the back. You're going to get over that betrayal, and you're going to get up and you're going to try again. And that's what I did when I did my big move. Okay, I'd just gotten out of that relationship with that musician, piece of shit he was. And, you know, yeah, he's a man, but we don't love him. And, you know, but anyway, that's bad. I shouldn't say that, but he's a very bad person. So anyways, you get up, you try again. And when I got to my new city, the first person I went on a date with was also a musician, also a guitar player. And he is my friend to this day. We did not get together. He's Gemini like me, great guy. I love that guy. You know, so like I say, you're gonna find when you get to where you're going, and you'll travel there before you get there, you're gonna feel it out, and you're gonna see, you know what, this is gonna be a good thing. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna forget about this betrayal. I'm blocking it out, which is, you know, turning it upside down, and we're gonna go forward, and we're gonna get that cup of love. Okay, so those are my cities. Thank you so much for being with me, and even being with me till the end of the video. Okay, have a good day now.